Grady was born in 2005. We didn't know there was anything wrong until the day he was born. We had an ultrasound because the doctor thought he was a breech. Turns out he was, but the doctor said there's something going on. So we did a C-section that day, unexpected. So the doctor said there's something going on, but not sure what it is. So we did the C-section, and nobody knew really what was wrong. There was something not right about him. And so it took a couple hours before they figured out that he had prune belly syndrome. And of course, none of us had ever heard of that because it's very rare. Typically, it's very uncommon. It's 1 in 40,000 births. So, and what it is the absence of abdominal muscles, and it affects his urinary tract, bladder, kidneys, basically everything to do with urinary tract. It also includes deformities of the lower extremities. He had one club foot. His hips were out of socket and always have been. So he's never been able to walk. When he was smaller, we call it almost army crawl. He could get on his hands and knees and scoot around. But eventually he lost the ability to do that. So he's always been in a wheelchair ever since since he outgrew the stroller.
Yeah.
And then, so that was his primary diagnosis, but over the years he's had a few other setbacks. In 2010 he had a stroke-like event, and he lost mobility in his right arm. So he used
70%
to, and had 70% brain damage, whatever that means. It's just, he's always had something going on, and here lately his issue has been recurring pneumonia. So we're currently trying different things with that and trying to prevent the pneumonias. So, but as of right now, we're doing pretty good.
And I think you were mentioning before about the surgeries and stuff like that.
Yes, he's had multiple surgeries, procedures. He does Botox every 3 to 4 months to release the muscle tension in his body from the neck down.
Okay.
His hands, legs, feet. The MRI that he was saying about the 2010 is it shows that he's 70% brain damage. When you went to the neurologist and he looked at it, he was like, this is what he should be doing. But then Grady was eating up until previous time. Basically, he would have been a vegetable.
Wow.
After 2010, but we have a better doctor upstairs. So
That's awesome.
yeah, but we do Botox. He's had multiple surgeries, bladder-wise. He's had twisted bowel surgeries to redo that about 4 or 5 times. He had a TE fistula. He had a trach for 12 years, on a ventilator for 12 years. We went actually cold turkey off the ventilator, no wean down.
Wow.
They shipped us to St. Louis 2 years ago. Nobody in Tulsa would touch the TE fistula. So we did that and went 6 to 8 weeks without feeding him by mouth. So this could heal, and now we're doing that again due to the reoccurring pneumonia. They did a bronchial scope, what was that, last week? And they don't know if he's aspirating while he's eating or if it's coming back up.
Reflex.
So that's why we're not feeding him by mouth right now.
Okay.
Hopefully we will get to do that again. There's a possibility it won't happen.
So the nurses mentioned something about, was it hypertension? Is it, or is it something else that they were?
He
does have high blood pressure. That's due to the kidney disease, which is secondary to the prune belly syndrome.
Okay.
He goes to well, when he's not in the hospital, he goes to physical therapy
Occupational therapy.
and occupational therapy every week.
And
And then as far as, us coming in and making over his room, how do you feel that will change and not change his life, but change his routine, and can we add to that and, alleviate some of the pressures or issues that you guys have with his mobility inside his room?
When handicapped kids don't get a lot of the things, obviously, that normal children have, so it's difficult to find things to please him. He's very limited on what he can do for fun, and so any little thing we can find that boosts his spirit and makes him happy, it's going to be a great thing for him.
One of the things, really at Rooms with a Heart, that's the core of our mission, is creating the space that's for, health and healing and wellness, a place where they can go and feel like it's their safe space and they feel healthy, and it helps them to, overcome any kind of health issues or that. And so that definitely fits with that. And then as far as in his room, what we already talked about it a little bit, but what really are you looking for? What are some of the things we can do that would be helpful to him and helpful to you?
I feel like some of the things that would benefit Grady would be, of course, his comfort, something that makes him happy, where he feels comfortable, someplace that he wants to be. But in addition to that, I feel like things that help us with his care, something that special needs children have a lot of equipment and things that you don't typically have in a bedroom. So where toys would be on a normal child, he's got medical equipment. So storage for the medical equipment,
A place for him to be able
place-
to
yeah.
be a kid.
places for him to feel safe and secure and feel like a normal bedroom, and just kind of the stress that he goes through at the hospital or at doctor's appointments, or this would be a place for him to unwind and just relax.